Hi, my name's James Young, and I'm the co-creator of JT Productions. I'm sorry? Oh, that camera. Okay. Hi, I'm the... Can I start again? It's still rolling. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Tom Wilkinson, long-time actor and colleague of James Young, creator, co-founder of JT Productions.
Hi, I'm John Young, and well, that's it. Introduce myself. I'm John Young.
What do you do now?
I'm a chef.
How did JT Productions start? Crikey. Way before YouTube. In fact, it was Google Video, which was another video uploading service where you could stream content. And actually, before that, me and the gang would record videos and we would send them to our friends over MSN Messenger. And then later on, we uploaded to YouTube, and that's when it got big. When we were uploading to YouTube, when we could share the content around the world, and yeah, it was. How did it start? I think I got a digital camera from PC World, a very cheap camera. I mean, by today's standards, absolute garbage. I think it was something like 0.3 megapixels. The video was probably about 160p in resolution. You can only record about 10 seconds of video. It had no audio, so it was just little video clips. I put together a video of me and my friend Ben Cornick. We were just jumping off skateboards, it was a load of nonsense. And then I believe we did another video where we were messing around with BB guns. I showed these to a chap called Tom Wilkinson, who was in my class, and he wanted to make content. He wanted to do the same thing. So we got together and we started making video clips.
Well, it all began, well for me in fact, it all began when we first got hands on camera and some BB guns really. It all started with a film called Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, which I actually wasn't in. It was a colleague, Ben Cornick, who was in quite a lot of the early stuff, and it was just mucking about with BB guns. Made a little clip, no real storylines, more just a sort of a gunfight. And as soon as I saw that, I said to James, James, we got to make more of these, and fast. I want to be on board. And from that day on, it was just hit after hit. success after success, and we never looked back.
What role did I play in JT Productions? I was pretty much everything. I was writer, if you can say writer. I mean, most of the stuff we made up then and there on the spot, so there was hardly any writing involved. I was the director, producer, if you will. I edited all the videos. I filmed half of it when I wasn't on screen myself. So yeah, pretty much everything about it. I was the publisher.
Well, within JT Productions itself, especially in the early days, I was credited as director, actor, as also. But yeah, I mean, we co-wrote most of the films. It was a good time. It was a good time back in those days. Yeah, did a lot of acting. In those early days, I actually had more acting hours than I have since in my successful acting career. But yeah, acting mostly, writing, directing, starring, the usual.
Tom said he was director. Tom didn't do anything. Tom just turned up on the day and did whatever we'd planned to do. And by we, I mean I. The only role he fulfilled was that his dad had a decent camera, better than the Agfa camera. Director. I think, jeez. Typical. Taking credit for my work. Yeah.
I wish I hadn't played a role in JT Productions. I mean, saying acting would be a stretch. I was like super young, and I basically did any stupid bullshit that they'd make me do, pretty much.
What was my favourite video? I'll tell you what, it's not actually one of our big ones. It was a video called You've Dropped Your Face, and the premise was extraordinarily simple. It was two guys, myself, Tom Wilkinson, walking down the road, and Tom turns to me and he says, "You've dropped your face." "Oh, James, I think you've dropped your face." And I dropped my face. I dropped my face on the floor, and I pick up my face, I put my face back on, and I walk off. It was, like I said, incredibly simple. Very poignant message, though. And great.
Yeah, well, oh, James, it looks like you dropped your face.
What? What are you on about?
Yeah, your face. You dropped your face.
I have never dropped my face. I don't know anyone that has dropped their face. Like, literally, their face has come off. However, having suffered from extreme anxiety and crippling depression, I feel like I know what it would be like for my face to fall off.
To work on... Oh. I mean, Knights of Hoth has to be up there, purely for the sort of the size and scale of it all. With the sort of the amount of cast we had to make those huge battle scenes was phenomenal. I mean, Ben-Hur would be like a sort of pathetic small, couple of bods in a field jobby compared to that one. Something about cardboard armour that really, you know, it really makes you laugh. You know, it's a great material to work with, cardboard in the special effects, and involved a lot of good times. And there was times where takes were hard to finish. You know. I think definitely an enjoyment is JT Productions, the movie. For enjoyment purposes, it was our first feature-length movie, and I remember a 2-second scene taking 53 takes at one time because of well, arguably our bad acting, but mainly just from cracking up. That was some good, some real gold in that. Real gold.
I can't be bothered with this.
I think he got the point.
It's time to fly.
But also, you know, the small movies that often don't get mentioned. You know, like you know, what was it? You dropped your face. Was, you know, a real laugh to make. It's hard to think back on some of the things. The gunshot scenes. You know, I've always liked doing my own stunts in my movies, and some of the action scenes, like in Hoth Tricks and that kind of thing. Hoth Tricks and I think it was Hoth Tricks 1. In fact, some of the special effects in the gunfights were real fun to make. You know, a lot of laughs.
Oh, I hate every single one of them. I literally can't stand them. So I can give you my least favourite. Oh, my least favourite? No, actually no. I didn't hate the Box Factory, but I mean, it was bad. They were all low quality, and the more I think about them, the more furious I get.
Ah, this looks like the place. Hello, is this the Pirate Box Factory?
Arr! These are my boxes, and this is my rum. And this is my shoe, and I'm a pirate, and this is indeed the Pirate Box Factory. What can I be doing for you, fellow?
The special effects in our videos, to be fair, looking back at them now, they've aged extremely well. You have people that use CGI in modern movies. You have people that use practical effects. I think we were very groundbreaking at the time, certainly for YouTube. We were using a mix of CGI and practical effects, and yes, they might not be quite up to scratch with today's videos, some of the stuff you see on YouTube, but they don't look bad. Doctor Who had a great intro, and the robot in that looks fantastic.
Well, I mean, the special effects industry these days is one of the fastest. Every new film that comes out. But at the time, it was at the real peak of sort of the industry. We actually had a lot of our movies. We had people writing in, sending in videos, absolutely petrified about these sort of things that are happening. And when people were killed off, it was. People, really thought it was like some kind of, like how on earth did they do that? How are they really dead? Or did that bomb go off in Hoth? I think if Hoth was a real, if Hoth, if it wasn't special effects, Hoth would have been burnt to a crisp many a time.
What other ones? Terminator. The video effects on that. There's a scene where the Terminator gets hit by a car. And we didn't have the budget to hire a stunt actor, so we got John Young to stand in front of a car. And what we did was we actually drove about 5 miles per hour, if that, maybe slower, but we sped it up. So when you see the effect, it looks like we're hitting him really fast. And that looks great. It looks really good. In fact, one of my favourite videos. The special effects, very good. Very, very good.
To your house.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Ah! It's running over! Ah! Ah!
Oh God! Ah!
Quick, keep driving!
Ah! Where to?
I don't know yet! Ah! Hey, look! Someone left some explosives in your car. Drive to the nearest bridge, I've got a plan!
To the bridge! Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by success, but it's certainly in terms of numbers, gross takings on our part. Dog Soldiers was an enormous hit for us, and really, to be honest, was one of our first big hits. We were still back in school in those days, and I remember coming into school the day after it was released, and just. The girls were just falling at our feet. They were everywhere, and it was hard at first to deal with that success. But
no, because there aren't any fans, and if James and Tom tell you that there are fans, then they're lying to themselves and and to you. Because I mean, really, it was about 5 idiotic kids pissing about with no money and a low quality camera, and pretending like they were going somewhere when really they weren't. It was dreadful. In fact, the more I think about it, the worse it was. It was diabolical.
It was kind of a recreation of a horror film that Tom introduced me to about a bunch of soldiers that have to fight werewolves. We were big fans of it when we were younger, so we kind of remade that. I wasn't a big fan, I'll be honest. I wasn't a big fan of our video or the original movie, but it's got the most amount of views. It's what kind of boosted us into the limelight. Probably what made us famous at the time.
And it was basically a horror film, deeply unsettling at times, and it was just the one after another, soldiers getting taken out by these werewolves, and it was our first sort of it was our first play around with sort of using special effects, different, but in our own way, not necessarily CGI. Remembering specifically, there's a scene where someone's heart is ripped out of their chest, and he raises it up into the air, and the camera zooms in on it, and the keen eye would actually notice that this was actually a potato being held up in the air. But with the sort of trickery with the camera, it made it look exactly like a beating heart. But that was the early days. It was. Of course, we had the sort of what do you call it? The masks, the mask on him as the werewolf. Highly realistic looking mask. Quite scary actually, if you see it. But yeah, that definitely had to be our first biggest hit. It was a great movie and fantastic script as well.
What happened to the rest of the gang? Crikey. So, John, he is now, he's still online. He's still on, in the business of uploading videos. He has a channel called Nerd Room. He does a lot of videos based on bugs, insects, spiders, snakes. He's doing pretty well for himself. Tom, as last I heard, he's looking to go travelling. I think, you know, he's studied, he's worked. It's time for him to take a break. So he's going travelling. All the best to him. I wish him the best. I hope he finds what he's looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in contact with Darren occasionally. See him. Big shot casino owner now, I believe. Doing very well for himself. But he was a great actor. And for a long time actually wanted to be an actor, which was a rare thing in our case at first. Ben Cornick. Last I heard of Ben Cornick, he had sort of become, I think he was addicted to WoW. Had a serious WoW addiction, but which led him on to meet all kinds of people. May have got married and moved to Sweden and then joined the Navy. That's all I know. He may also be dead. It's possible. But yeah, of those two, that's all I can remember. But other character, Ben Justin, of course, it was in a number of films. Great actor. He's dead too. Who else can you? Who else have we had involved? Jack Morgan is. He lives in trees now. He's started up a village in some trees, I think in Costa Rica or something like that. Alex hasn't been seen since that big landslide in Howth. That sort of, I haven't heard anything from him since. Millions killed. So yeah, I can't think of any. Over the year, it's been such a long time since we so many faces come and go. Pass through the lens, as it were. But yeah.
Darren is a casino owner. Ben Cornick, I think he actually became a character from World of Warcraft. I don't know, who else? Ben Justin, no one knows what happened to him, he's set on fire or something. James is... oh god... in game. And Tom... and Alex. Tom, I think, is a drug addict, and I think Alex got caught in a landslide or some bullshit, I don't know.
Darren's probably the most successful out of all of us. He owns a bird feeding company. He's got a house, soon to be married. Unfortunately, he wouldn't be in this series of interviews, as far as I'm aware. We did try and get in contact with him, but yeah, you know, he's doing well for himself, so he didn't want to be here. I'm not sure if he wants to be associated with this kind of thing anymore. Who else was there? Oh, Ben Cornick. No one really knows what happened to him. Last I heard, he went travelling. And then I think he might have died. Ben Justin too. Yeah. There was an accident where he got set on fire. And after that, he wouldn't hang around with us anymore. Jack Morgan, he's still about, but he lives out in the wilds or something. I think he's become quite a recluse. Yeah. What happened to JT Productions? What happened to JT Productions? That is the question.
Well, I mean, it's been a, you know, I haven't spoken about it much, to be honest. It was a very difficult sort of, you know, breakup, really. Unfortunately, you know, it was. I suppose fame got to us, you could say. I found it hard at first. Well, at first, you know, thought, hey, this is great, and then after a while, you know, it became a bit of a hell. You know, it was walking down the street was hard. You know, one time I had people coming up to me asking all sorts, you know, sort of directions, you know, where McDonald's is, that kind of thing, and it was tough. It was tough, but you know, I think it affected us all. I had a bit of a drug problem in the early days. I was addicted to paracetamol for a long time. Was doing about 5 a day, probably, and it became a real problem for the group. James had some addiction problems. He had an expensive addiction. He used to sprinkle powdered diamond onto his Weetabix, and you know, I mean, we earned a lot from JT Productions, but it couldn't, you know, even that was sort of, it's you know, that starts to tear James apart, really. His addiction to powdered diamonds, but you know, I think when you do something for 10 years, sometimes it runs its course. You know, people, you know, sometimes try to keep these things going on forever and ever, and you know, you know, perhaps that time had come to an end. It was fun while it lasted. It was a blast, but you know, things evolve as well. Things evolve, new things come out of these old things. So it was perhaps just its time.
Because it was tat, basically. I don't know, like, we're spending like hours and hours a week, or some time a week, filming absolute tat that about 4 people were watching, and then going, oh, look at this, it's great, and then I sort of, I don't know, it was bad. all of it was, there's not one good bit about it. It's not good acting. I mean, the camera quality is pretty bad. The editing is good because it's so bad. The worst bit about it is when we tried to make films which were serious. I mean, when we were doing stupid shit, that was fine. So like blowing stuff up with French bangers was fine. But when we made a film which was meant to be like epic or had any emotion in it, it made me like almost tear up watching it because it was so poor and it was so cringy. It was more cringy than the most cringy films that you'd see like ever. Yeah, it was bad.
There's a simple answer for that. I got a real job and I grew up. Yeah, you know, I'm working from 6 in the morning till, I don't know, 7:30 in the evening. When I get home, I eat, I go to sleep. I don't have time for it. And you know what? It's the worst decision I ever made. They were the best days. Definitely. And now, you know, am I happy with where life has taken me? No. No, I'm not. Would I get the gang back together? You know what? In a heartbeat. If they would have me. I think I let a lot of the guys down. I went my own way, and for a long time I ignored the people that mattered most to me. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for moving on. I would have done the same had I been treated that way. But if I could get them together again, of course I'd do it. Of course. Maybe John wouldn't get involved. I know he had some issues with the videos. He denies being in them to most people. I think he's embarrassed. But Tom, yeah, of course. If Darren would come along, fantastic. If Ben Justin and Ben Connick aren't dead, then, you know, yeah. Making videos is what I love to do. And I wish I could spend more time doing it. I'm sorry, that's my interview done. Thank you.